Two flies caught up in a battle for survival. These birds, having breakfast, is in no mood to be disturbed. A termite having what seems to be an impossible task to fulfill. Two flies had the worst day and night of their lives. One ended up before an ant's nest during the day, and the next one ended up there during the night. But it seems as if the ants also did not have such a good time, even with these two meals lying before their nests. As you can see by these ants seemingly carrying away or clearing out the entrance to the nest to get the one fly in. This fly is fighting hard to get away from the ants, kicking at the grass that lies on the opening to their nest and trying to get rid of the ants that are on him, while some ants are cleaning out the entrance to their nest. These birds, having breakfast, is in no mood to be disturbed having their breakfast, but they have to keep looking around for danger, as danger can be lurking anywhere for them, especially when it's a cat coming home from its night of gallivanting. A termite having what seems to be an impossible task to fulfill. This termite seemingly have to move this piece of grass or whatever it is away from the entrance to the nest. And as he's busy performing this task, I'm sure he is well aware of the easy pieces of grass these nestmates are moving around as he is trying to move this huge and heavy piece of grass before the nest. Look at him going about trying to move this thing. Oh, it seems he has a plan, but what can that plan be? Two flies caught up in a battle for survival. These ants, probably getting tired of this fly kicking and fighting to stay alive, push the fly on its back. But the fly is still not willing to give up its fight for survival, as it continues kicking and shoving to get away from these ants, kicking the piece of grass on the entrance to the nest further onto the entrance of the nest. But the ants are not willing to have any of that. It seems as if they are afraid that the fly might draw the attention of a bird, which could come down and sweep up their prey and fly away with it, and they would have none of that. So these ants are starting to drag the fly away from their nest. This fly, also not too willing to give up its life as food for these ants, are fighting fearlessly for its life. But these ants, not willing to lose this meal, are coming in more and more to take down this fly. And as the fly tries to move away from the ants follows it and surrounds it again. It seems as if the sheer number of ants are becoming too much for this fly as it continues its desperate fight for survival. But let us slow down this video and see just how the fly succeeded in getting away from the ants for just a moment. It seems as if the fly is lifting up its body. The fly is lifting up its body, trying to get the ants off it. There, it's starting to beat its wings and it's moving, but it seems as if it's not a controlled move. And there, it stops again. Three birds are going about having breakfast, but they are not at ease as they constantly have to look around as danger could be lurking anywhere. And this danger is heightened when a cat is strolling home after a night of gallivanting. As the birds become aware of the cat, two lazily flies away, while the third one lazily walks away to safety. But safety to them is not some distance away, but just out of reach of the cat. Looking at the birds, the cat might be thinking about going after one of them, but then decides to lie down. A termite having what seems to be an impossible task to fulfill. This termite seemingly have to move this piece of grass or whatever it is away from the entrance to the nest. The termite is seemingly spending a lot of energy trying to move this piece of grass. Oh, it seems he has a plan. But what can that plan be? Let us look on for a while and see what the termite is doing. As I've said before, this termite is spending a lot of energy on trying to move this piece of grass. And now and again it seems as if it is moving, but then just return to its place. But this termite keep on going. And as I've said, let us have a look at what it's doing. There it is. It seems as if this termite was trying to chew through this piece of grass. Great plan, as two pieces would be easier and better to move than one big piece. But it seems as if the termite has given up, taking too long to chew through this piece of grass. See, there it is going, going, and now it is gone. There are two things you as a person probably don't like: liars and people who think they are too smart for their own good. But there are one thing that nobody seems to like, and that is nosy neighbors. This cat came home after a night of gallivanting and saw these birds, and probably saw an easy meal. But unfortunately, it did not pan out for him like that. So he lied there watching these birds. But there is something no one seems to like, and that is a nosy neighbor. Look at how this cat is looking at his neighbor. And now it seemingly is ignoring its neighbor, turning its attention back to the birds. A termite seemingly had the job of removing this huge piece of grass from the entrance to the nest. But it failed and moved away. And you can see here the difference between this piece of grass and the grass its nestmates are carrying. Much smaller, much lighter, and easier to carry. No wonder it gave up on this huge piece of grass. But look here, here's another termite coming. Or can it be the same termite trying again? And look, it's trying. It's moving down the piece of grass. It's moving down. It's moving down. It's moving down. It's moving down. Going to the one end of the piece of grass. And it's picking it up. And he's moving it. He's moving it. He's moving it. It seems science have won here. Pivoting the grass on the other end while moving it at his end. Two flies are caught up in a desperate fight for survival. Things do not look good for these two flies, as it seems as if the ants are in total control of the situations they find themselves in. Not willing to become breakfast, lunch, or supper for these ants, this fly is putting up the fight for its life. Look at it kicking with its legs, while the ants are relentless at trying to drag it away from the nest. Look at it moving its legs. One ant tries to get on him, but the fly just kicks it off. It's fighting. It's fighting. Question is, will it win? It's fighting. Look at it kicking. There it kicks another ant off it, but the ants are still coming. Look at them going at this fly, going for its legs, but the fly just kicks them away. Question is, will the ants give up? There the fly is trying to come upright again. It's trying to come upright again. It's trying to come upright again. Look at it kicking that grass. There it falls back on its back again. The ants are trying to get all over it, but those legs are still in the way. It's fighting. It's fighting to survive. But it seems to be moving in the direction the ants want it to move. The ants are not gonna let this big piece of meat get away, it seems. It seems they are trying to get it in under that weed and that piece of hanging grass. It's getting it in. It's getting it in. It seems the ants have it just where it wanted it. The fly, however, still seems to be putting up a fight. It seems to be trying to crawl out under the weed. Still fighting for its life. This fly don't know the meaning of giving up. Look at him fighting. Look at him trying to get the ants off him. But all these ants just seems to be too much for this fly. Look at it flapping its wings. But it seems as these ants had enough of this fly. An ant has grabbed hold of one of the fly's wings, the right wing. What is it going to do with that wing, I wonder? Hey look, the wing is off. They have taken the wing off the fly's body. Seems as if that wing was more than enough trouble for these ants. Look, there's one ant going with the wing. More and more ants join in the fight. This fly seems to be losing. And look, the ants are starting to clean the entrance to the nest again. They are getting hold of the fly. They are grabbing the other wing, the left wing. Look there, they are dragging it. They are dragging it. They are dragging it. They are dragging it. Look, it's disappearing into the entrance to the nest. There you can still see the eyes of the fly sticking out. But the ants have won. The ants, they've dragged this fly into their nest. And look, the ants are starting to clean the entrance to the nest again. For 6 minutes, this fly struggled. But it was for naught.